Good evening. Call the Property Management Committee to order. First order of business is approval of minutes from our last meeting. Do I hear a motion on that?
That's a motion.
Got a motion, Mr. Sancho, second, Commissioner Cook. Any discussion? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, first, order of business tonight is Lascassas Volunteer Fire Department Community Center lease amendment. It's amendment.
Okay. Some of you may know, but others of you may not know. Since 99, there has been a lease, a 50-year lease with the Lions Club for that building that's in front of where the Lascassas Volunteer Fire Department is. So they have an exclusive lease there. They cannot sublease that building without the commission's approval. What we're asking for here is to allow them to sublease a substantial part of that little building to the Lascassas Volunteer Fire Department. In that, this will benefit both of them. In other words, the fire department is actually going to pay all the utilities and insurance and maintenance, etc., and have use of some space that they need for their volunteer fire department operation. And this Lions Club will still have it for the ability to meet, and they still have that space outside there that's a playground, etc. So what has happened, the fire department and the Lions Club have drawn up a little agreement, and that's the second page of what I've given you there that sort of outlines the arrangement, and they've agreed to this arrangement. We need to get the Board of Commissioners to allow this arrangement to take place as a sublease between the Lions Club and the Lascassas Volunteer Fire Department.
Are you gonna have a sublease prepared, or?
Now, we're just gonna use this little
You just want a resolution to approve?
amendment to approve this, the arrangement they've agreed here on these 2 pages.
So you just adding an amendment to the original.
To the original lease, which will allow them to sublease under the terms of these 2 pages.
Make a motion to approve the request.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? All those that are for it, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposes? Motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is report on the sheriff office kitchen renovation plus expansion bids.
Okay, we were there yesterday, some of us, including the sheriff. We did open bids on that expansion and renovation, and the low bidder was R.G. Anderson at $1,169,900 for a period of 200 days is their estimated construction time. That was the low bid, a good bid, a reputable contractor that's done much work in many of our schools here. So the purchasing committee approved the selection of R.G. Anderson for that project. So it will move forward as soon as we can get a contract drafted and put together.
What was our estimate? Was it?
The original estimate that the architect gave us was like $1,192,000 thereabouts.
Sure was.
So
Right on the money.
Right on the money.
The range on these bids was really narrow, so it was very, very competitive set of bids, and we had 5 bids, 5 good bids.
Good.
So that's just the update on that, and that will be starting soon.
Okay, what about the update on the sheriff office brick rental?
Yes, the sheriff may know more about this than I do, but in any event, you know, we had to amend that contract and increase the cost there. We're going to come in under what we originally estimated. We think the work is beginning to really progress. They finished the west side, they're working on the south, I'm pretty sure, and maybe some on the other, so they're making good progress. They've spent we have only paid on about 30% of what we have actually budgeted, but I'm sure this bill that we're gonna get this go around is gonna be a substantial one. They're scheduled not to finish that until July the 12th, but the contractors now told us they may be finished as soon as late April or early May, so that's encouraging. We're gonna get that problem, it appears, taken care of, and hopefully we'll fix this for years and years to come.
I know there was some discussion about the architect that designed that or whatever.
is there, as far as recouping?
Well, let me say this, I have had the county attorney research this substantially, and I can only report to you right now that he's given me a 31-page brief on this. It's an extraordinarily complex situation, and I don't have a recommendation to make yet on whether we should pursue litigation or not, but it's extraordinarily difficult, and putting this on this agenda reminded me that I need to move forward with some further discussions on what we should recommend.
Okay.
It's not a simple assignment,
Right.
not any stretch.
Litigation is not usually.
But luckily Virgil, I gave a whole packet of stuff over to the mayor and he gave it to the attorneys, but Virgil had all the paperwork from back then. He's never thrown anything away.
It's
So
on
luckily we had.
So did you find out from the county attorney, you
Well,
bring it back to us?
The
or-
county, I will continue this discussion, and together we'll somehow decide what recommendation or report to make.
Okay. Are they still in business, or?
Some of them are, yes, not the architect, but the general contractor and the primary sub and one of the primary engineers is still, they're still alive.
Okay. All right. Update on Smyrna Health Department addition.
Well, we're just reporting that they poured the footings and, they're out of the ground, you might say, after the bad weather. They finally got the site to a point where they could actually dig the footings and pour them. So they're beginning to make some progress, and it will speed up a little bit faster as we get that done. So we haven't paid out but about 15 to 20% of the actual dollars, so they haven't gotten very much done. I think one of the committees is having maybe it's the Health and Ed Committee. I don't know who's on the Health and Ed Committee.
Help.
I think they're gonna meet down there next time.
April.
They won't be able to, is it in April? Their
Yes,
April
sir.
meeting is gonna be at the Smyrna Health Department.
Right.
So if you wanna go down there, you can see what's going on. It won't be a whole lot to see building wise.
Okay. All right. Update on fire and rescue building.
That's moving along really nicely. That's I'll remind you, that's $1,210,000. And we think we're gonna be complete with that only before May the 1st. So I haven't been out there in a few weeks, but Commissioner Young said he went by.
I went by today and they were almost bricked the whole front of it. They got they might have the whole front of it bricked by the end of the day. I was there this morning, so.
So, we paid them out about half of the money, and this next pay request will be a big one as well, but it's coming. So Larry's planning on moving. We're having to do stuff internally as far as the,
I think I'm pretty sure they're out of, Mr. Smythe's building. I think they've
Okay.
finally shut
This is
that operation down.
Good,
correct.
good.
You said it finished by when?
May the 1st,
May the 1st.
should be in there. That's not far off, is it?
No.
2 months.
Okay, update on Fosterville Midland Volunteer Fire
This-
Department building.
It's taken us an elongated period of time to get those plans drawn so that we can actually take those bids. The plans are finished. We are going to announce it for bids. The engineer really doesn't want to bid this. He wants to give the bidders 30 days at least to have these plans in hand. So I think they said, and I'm not sure the date, they didn't want to do this until April the 17th, something they said yesterday, but sometime in April, we're gonna take the bids.
Okay. Any questions on? If not, the sheriff is here and he have something he'd like to bring up to the committee.
Yes. Basically, we've asked for more fire space in the past. If you recall, when we were talking about the expansion of the building, and then it was brought up about looking at other options. And we had a couple options. It was brought up by the budget committee to send back to this committee. So we would like to go forward. The mayor and I talked at length about it since, I guess it was about September when we last had this conversation. We kind of looked at some things. The mayor's, I guess, talked to numerous people with property, and we would like to bring it back to y'all with the ideas that we have. I think, what was kind of talked about money-wise. Well, I guess I'll let you take it from this. You got the first string.
We would sort of like this group again, to sort of endorse the concept of allowing us to investigate the availability of some additional space that we could acquire in, with some limited renovations potentially to create the office spaces, et cetera, that would put in place some needed space they have to move some of their operations. They've already identified some of the things that they could possibly move that would be functionally okay. So we like this group here, again, to sort of endorse that concept and then take that on to public safety and see if they will also endorse it. And then probably at that point, we sort of need to set a limit on how many dollars we're talking about, but we're not, so that we would have some number not to exceed. So we know sort of what tools we have and how much we might have to spend.
Does this vary between the long-term lease possibilities, or is it purchasing that we?
We think we would be better advised to purchase it.
We'll have to renovate. I don't want to put that money into somebody else's bill.
Right.
Well, I think
Because we're talking, we're hopeful this may put us in a position, I don't want to speak for the sheriff, that this may put off for some fair number of years, whatever that might be. We don't know whether it's 3, 5, or more, before we would have to really consider doing something else.
It definitely loosens the belt buckle.
Where would we have in mind to get these funds? Development tax funds,
Well,
or?
No, not out of development tax. I will say this, we want to sort of reserve this discussion for you and the budget committee, but we have only one place that this would probably come from, but we'll let you guys ask those questions there. This group here is probably not in a position to really discuss that, and I don't want to get ahead of the budget committee.
Commissioner Farley.
I think that like the mayor said, this committee has actually endorsed it previously, and we all see the need from a property management side of the committee. And I'd like to make the motion that we endorse this concept again, and then send this endorsement to the Public Safety Committee, or the sheriff and the mayor and whoever else deems necessary can present that to Public Safety, and then we at Public Safety can recommend to the Budget Committee if it's passed, and like I say, the Budget can actually make the recommendation of where the money will come from. But I think Public Safety, knowing we meet every month with the sheriff, we might have an idea of what their needs and wants are, and can determine from that point.
Well, we meet this next Monday anyway,
Monday night.
so.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Got a second. Commissioner Sereno. I think that's a good point, because public safety would be more capable of probably narrowing down the dollar amount than we would, because they know the functions and whatnot the sheriff needs out there more so than we do. So, and then we'll send it to budget, and then you guys find the money.
I like that. We sort of know, with the help of our architect and the sheriff, what functions would move, most likely be the ones that could be moved, and we sort of know how many square feet that would take. So that sort of backs us into a number. That much work has already been done.
We've worked quite a bit, 3 months on this, working with the architect and mayor. We just kind of toss stuff around, so, with ideas.
You know, and I know the county commission, majority of the county commission, that we want to look and save as much tax dollars as we possibly can, and we need to be frugal with that. But also too, we have to look at the future, and the future expansion out there. There is possibilities there, but with this here, it's a possibility of us actually saving millions of dollars by this concept. And if we can postpone that for, maybe 5 years, that's going to be an asset, for the county. So
I agree with Commissioner Farley completely. $1 million spent now in lieu of spending 8 to 10 million, and save that for 5 years and defer that is a whole lot more economical to do right now in these times than it is spending the 8 million versus the the other.
Any more discussion? If not, I guess we'll call roll on this one.
Commissioner Bond?
Yes.
Commissioner Coggan?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Farley?
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes. Any other business to come before the committee?
Yeah, there's one other business. And there may be more than that, but, okay, there is the TVA through some settlement process is funding into the state of Tennessee several $1 million a year, and I don't know the number, for the purpose of issuing grants that are energy-saving grants to local municipalities and other entities. And what we want to do is we want you guys to approve, allow us to make an application for one of these grants. And now, we don't know whether we get it, you decide if you want to do this or not at that point, but this grant is, the maximum that you can request is $250,000. And the minimum match would be 20%. So if we were to get awarded 250, we'd have to put in 50 of that money. If we get 200 and have to put in 50 of county money. There is already some proven technology that would allow them to put some, replace some equipment within the heating of the hot water that would provide a system that would completely replace what they got and would have material savings in the cost of their utility bills, the gas bills. Now, the deadline on this is, well, this application is March the 30th. We have to engage an engineer of some sort to help us craft this grant and describe in some reasonable detail what we're going to achieve and how we're going to achieve it, and actually do the computations and put some projections on what the energy savings are so that we can show the return on this investment. So we need you to endorse and approve the continuance. I guess we're going to take this to public safety as well. But here we go. This is building improvement that affects the law enforcement, the public safety, and we'll take that on through, and then we'll take it on to budget too, and all in the full commission. But we need to start this process. The money's there, and we think we have a reasonable chance of getting it, because this concept is already proven. At least one or more other grants doing this very same thing has already been awarded.
I'll tell you something else that, and part of that program with the state actually helps, where some of the commissioners I know because it's part, I'm working for the state of Tennessee now, director over the building codes section down there. And by us being part of the 3-star program, it actually gives more points. You get an additional 15 points on these grant processes by having building codes in Rutherford County, because that's what I try to talk. That's where I travel across the state to talk to county commissions and get them to, if they're not in the codes, get them to add codes to their county. And that's one of the benefits. It actually gives 15 points on the 3-star program to be able to rise to the top to get these kind of grants. And I think it's a plus. And that 15 points, sometimes it makes you or breaks you. So
we need you to also, we're going to spend a few dollars, I don't know how many dollars, maybe a few thousand, on engaging some engineer to help us with this application. So if this motion could endorse the approval of making this application, realizing that we will have to identify some dollars we have to spend to make this investment on this grant application. It's not like we can do it by ourselves and prepare the proper applications. If this is pretty complex mechanical engineering stuff.
Would this be for the sheriff's department?
It'd be for the jail. It would furnish all the hot water in that jail
Okay.
through this new process.
Are we gonna use Mr. Klein since he's already involved in the?
He's involved in the discussions. We may use a different engineer that he's fully acquainted with.
Okay.
He's not an engineer, he's an architect.
Okay, architect.
We'd have to get someone through him or
Like
another
you said,
person.
mechanical type.
There's another person that's already done this, that's an engineer at Tennessee Tech. And I'm gonna see if he would do this for us. I don't know if he will, and I don't know what he would charge, but I haven't talked to him yet.
This system's a proven system. Actually, they're using it out on the new hotel out there.
Is it hot water on
Suite?
Yeah,
demand?
Mrs. Sweet.
No, it's not that type of
It's not-
system.
No,
It's
it's
got a heat exchanger in there, so it's more complicated than I could explain.
Okay.
I'll write the language.
Basically, the heat that comes off the air conditioner goes into the hot water and heats the hot water, so we're not having to fire up the boilers.
It makes it energy efficient
Yeah.
and green and, you know, cost effective, basically. And it's gonna help reduce your cost as far as your heating cost. It is astronomical out there now, and it's gonna reduce that. That's one reason these economic development grants and energy grants is to get things like this happening where it reduce energy.
Any more discussion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Got a
Second.
motion, second. Any more motion by Commissioner Farley, second by Commissioner Coggins. Okay, you understand what the motion is?
Your motion is approve applying for the TVA grant through the state in engagement of a mechanical engineer to assist and forward to public safety.
Okay. All right, let's call the roll on this. Be somebody spent.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Coggins?
Yes.
Commissioner Cook?
Yes.
Commissioner Farley?
Yes.
Commissioner Sereno?
Yes.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Yes. Any other business?
I have one other quick thing.
Bring it up.
We have open house, we're gonna do it at the sheriff's office on March 10th from 2 to 5. So all y'all will be getting a letter in the mail. I'll be signing those in the morning and sending those out, but I just wanted to let you know. Also, next Wednesday, I believe it's at 2 o'clock, and it'll be in the letter as well. We'll be having our grand opening for the new dispatch center. So invite each and every one of y'all out for that. So I just want to let you know.
Last week he had the graduation ceremony too.
Yes,
That's great.
we had a GED graduation,
Right.
so I appreciate you coming.
Well, I won't be able to come to the opening of the dispatch center. I've got to be at the Capitol in the committee, so, but I wish I could, but I won't be able to be there.
Well, maybe you can come still to the open house, we'll still.
Yeah,
we'll
still
have
show it
there.
to you at open
I'll
house.
still show it to you. Or any other time y'all would like to come, just come on down and I'll give you a personal, the Dime tour.
Well, I hope you invite the media to the dispatch center.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I think that's something we all,
Yeah.
everybody's worked hard on, and with the
Yes.
towers coming in, our communications will be top notch.
Top
Right.
notch. And there's already, we can tell that there's gonna be a lot of improvement so far, so then with the towers coming in, it'll be so great.
Good. All right.
Thank
Any-
y'all.
Any
Thank
other
you.
business to bring forward to the committee? If not, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.